The NFL draft is a little over a month away. Free agency frenzy continues to heat up, and the rumorville is starting to churn. All that and the latest in 49ers news. We're going to break it down right here on the WayneBreezie Show. Stick around.
So bright that we shine. All we know is the Niners. Ready to go, that is finest. So faithful to the bay. I be sipping gold bar whiskey on the rocks, and a 24-karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 49 preacher. We so bright that we shining.
Yeah, we so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners, baby. That's what we do right here on the WayneBreezie Show. We got that hot Niners content ready to pop off, man. Happy Monday, everybody. Everybody out there. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew. You guys are definitely in the building. Peachy in the building. My man Manly. Nick's in the building. What's going on? Peachy says thank you for tuning into the show. Guys, make sure you smash that like button, all right? Now, listen, if you're new to the stream, it's your first time you've ever watched it, don't forget to hit that like button. And don't leave without hitting that subscribe button as well. And if you really want to support the channel, support the stream, support everything that I'm doing over here on this particular channel, go ahead and make sure you click that join button. Become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. Speaking of Breezy Bunch crew, I got to shout out my brother Mike. Mike in 13 months in the building, a little over a year. I like that, man. A year and a month, man. He says, BB, hashtag BB Breezy. Have a great show, my guy. Shout out to you, man. I love you, brother, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding over there, man. Listen, let's have a great show. My man, Don't Bother Me, is in the building. I'm hoping Tony will join me. Uncle Scott, what's good, baby? What's going on? Hey, Oscar, you know, I salute you, bro. You the G. You and Chapman need to agree on who's going live on early Mondays. I didn't know John did early Mondays. This is kind of like the slot. I'm sorry, man. So, yeah, I'll have to have a conversation. He's fresh back from Cabo, so he getting his content on. I love it. Red Jet, what's going on, sis? She says good morning to the chat, and she says don't forget to like and sub. Lake City, what's going on, my brother? Love you, bro. All right, man, listen. There's a lot of stuff going on. Good things are that the 49ers continue to find ways to fill their roster. You guys know they got to get that number up, and they got to find a way to, you know, they got a lot of cap relief, right? So they've been relieving some cap due to restructures. They got extensions, releasing of certain players and things like that. So the Niners are going to have some money to spend. And the cool thing is they're figuring out ways, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, this is just an opinion. They're figuring out ways to stay the cream of the crop, right? I don't think they necessarily got any worse during the first wave of free agency. And they found a way to continue to like just stay where they are at the top. Now we're going to see how these new pieces that they added are going to manifest and blossom into something great, but we won't be able to do that until we actually play some football, right? But I will say that I think that the Niners didn't fall back. They did lose several free agents. We'll go over that. But they didn't fall back with the free agents that they did add to the team and some of the guys that they did bring back. So I think that the San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion, have found a way to remain the cream of the crop in the NFL, right? They found a way to remain the cream of the crop in the NFL. So 49er faithful, man, give your team a goddamn round of applause. Oh, this is my brother right here. What's going on, Troy? Happy Monday, my boy. Happy Monday, fam. Happy Monday to you. Terrence is in the building, too. What's going on, fam? It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. It's my brother from another mother. Also, I'm coming to steal the... that Tatum Funko ain't going nowhere. That's the future MVP of the NBA, baby. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. And Oscar just wanted to update, says, hey, we're about around 17 million available cap. Now, listen, about 8 to 10 million. I feel like 10 million is going to be for the, you know, give or take a million or two for your draft picks. And then you got to free up a few million as well for, you know, your practice squad and things like that. So the 49ers, you know, they got to keep some money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no money in the bank. We be walking around looking all stank. All right, so they got to keep a few dollars in the bank. All right, so and they needed to do those things, right? They got to sign their draft class. Now, listen, it depends on how many draft picks that the 49ers have. They currently have 10 draft picks, so depending on the number of draft picks that they have, will determine how much they're going to end up spending on in the draft. But they do need to keep around $8 to about $10 million for this year's draft class, and then as well as the practice squad, because you got to pay those players. Those players aren't necessarily on like contracts, right? So they're like literally per diem players, right? So they can actually get picked up by other teams if they're offered a contract, even though they're on your practice squad. And the Niners do it just like teams do it to the San Francisco 49ers. They come and grab some players off the practice squad and things like that. We'll get into all those rules and all those things and all that crap and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the beautiful Miss Debbie is in the building. I wish I had that sound that goes what's going on, Miss Debbie? She's blessings to everyone in the chat. Please remember to hit that like button. It really does help out the stream. So, guys, make sure you hit that like button, all right? And things like that, man, because you already know what it does. All right, look, this show is brought to you by, we got a couple of sponsors we want to give a quick shout out to. Shout out to the sponsors over at Residency. Guys, listen, use the promo code SF Breezy. All right, SF Breezy. I can tell you that right now. SF Breezy. You'll save $5 on your purchase. They had a banging $25 spring sale going on. It's probably still going on, and they still have hats in stock, even hats that I don't have. So make sure you go to www.residency.com. Make sure there's a 3 in that residency, right? And then when you get to your checkout, use that promo code right there, and you'll save some money on your total purchase. And also make sure you guys check out the new Pigskin app from Win Streaks. It's definitely my favorite app. I haven't been feeling it lately because I've been struggling with my picks because I thought I had this little method to my madness and it's been backfiring. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm no longer picking hockey games. I'm not gonna do it. I thought I understood hockey when you're trying to pick a game. I tell you what, it doesn't matter if they're home or away. It doesn't matter if the team sucks or they're great. That's any given day. The team will lose. The great teams lose. The bad teams win. I'm no longer picking hockey games, but check it out. It's a free app. You can scan that barcode right there. Use the referral code WayneBreezie. All right, make sure you do it. All right, and then I'll get you into my group, and then that's what I'm still working on. They're working on it. So for those that are already on there, we're working on figuring out how to use my code to get into my group, so I could do my own things over there. So that's in progress. Just wanted to put that out there. But go ahead and scan that barcode. It'll take you to your app store. You'll download the app. The app is free. To play is free, and you win free money. So it's super simple. Now you got to score the most points to win the most money, but it's really easy. You don't have to put any money up unless you want to buy things like the shirts and stuff like that, or if you want to buy some of those hot spins where you can boost. That's what we call them. So if you want to buy the boost, but check it out, guys, it's going to be really fun. All right, so go ahead and do that. Let's get back to the show. I got the one and only GM Tony in the building. What's going on, baby?
What's up? Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late.
Oh man, it's all good, man. Late is great, man. That's how we dig it. Check this out, Tony. So first of all, how was your weekend? Because people don't realize that we talk and we just literally just yell at each other for at least 2 days until we all come into agreement on something good that the 49ers did. But I want to know how you feel. How was your weekend? And are you ready to get into the second wave of free agency? Really a week before I think they really start draft planning.
Yeah, I mean, my weekend was good. I worked. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I feel good. And I'm ready for the second wave. And something interesting transpired, I think, within the last 24 hours on social media.
Yeah.
With Tre'Davious Ward.
Yeah. Tre'Davious White. I'm sorry. Oh, Tre'Davious. Oh, yeah. Mooney Ward.
Gotcha. Ward.
Yeah.
Mooney, all right, was it Mooney Ward?
Yeah.
We'll do Mooney Ward and then posting things.
Yeah, let's get to these rumors. It's super interesting, right? So let's talk about the rumors that are going around, and we'll get to that. I'm not saying that that's a rumor, but it's definitely something that's kind of like intriguing because it's got the faithful like mind spinning. Now let's talk about Tre'Davious White because I kept saying, Tony, go get this guy. He might have the injury situation coming back from the Achilles prior to coming back from the ACL, but healthy, he is a lockdown corner, in the NFL, healthy, right? And so like this would be a good move because it's a free agent. He's a veteran. He'll shore up the back end. He'll shore up the stable of cornerbacks. But you're talking about this rumor, and let's talk about it because Mooney Ward is literally endorsing Tre'Davious White to the 49ers, right? Like, why not?
He's trying to play the middleman. Right?
I love it, yo. I love it, man. I love it. Pros and cons on Tre'Davious White. For me, it's good for me, but what are some of the cons and some of your pros?
The major con is the injury. I mean, coming off the Achilles, where is he in his recovery? We don't know. He's been sniffing. Other teams been sniffing around him, so that's a positive sign. So where he is in this recovery is very crucial. I mean, if he's there, if he's getting there and it's close, you take a shot. I mean, the guy is a former Pro Bowl cornerback. I think he was even an All-Pro corner at one point, pre-injury. But, you know, those are two major injuries. And he had the ACL, and then he had, I believe, the Achilles. The Niners do have a track record of taking shots on players and giving them opportunities. Jason Verrett, Richard Sherman. So I want to see where they're at right now. And if they sign him, that tells me that he's in a pretty good spot. If they don't sign him, I think that could also tell you it's either A, he's asking for way too much with too much unknown,
good point,
or the medicals aren't coming back good.
Good point. And you know, the medicals are important. That's first and foremost. And then you'll get into the numbers, right? You'll get into what his agent is asking. We're talking about a guy, in my opinion, that wants to contest for a championship. I mean, what player doesn't want to compete, for a championship in the NFL? The Bills literally moved on from him, from that cap number. He would be a free agent. I do have a question, right? So when the players become a free agent, and that money, the team that made him a free agent, the team that released him is responsible for the dead money, right? So the Niners would be able to just sign him to a new contract, and he'll still get paid the dead money from the Bills, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood it to the T. You know what I mean? That's super important.
Yeah.
You know, I'm explaining it, and I just want to make sure I'm understanding what I'm explaining. So for the Niners, they could get him. What would be a vet minimum deal for him? It can't be what Russell Wilson got.
Well, I mean, that I was just going to say that. I'm glad you said Russell Wilson. That's the type of deal, right? Like you see how he's got paid all that money, and he just went to Pittsburgh to sign a 1-year vet minimum deal.
Yeah,
that is what is potentially could be on the table. I'm not saying he will go for that, but you ask how it works. He still gets paid from them. The team just signed the 1-year vet minimum, and now he's a Pittsburgh Steeler with the starting quarterback spot in his pocket. So in his situation, I could see him more on an incentive-based deal. You bring him in at a fair market value. I mean, not fair market value, but a fair veteran number to bring him in as a base, and then you go from there. Minimal guarantees, high incentives, so it doesn't really affect the team that's taking the shot, whether it's the Niners, whether it's them, Denver, whoever it is. That's how they will probably. I can't see a team going, all right, we'll give you 4 years, $80 million. I can't see that. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much question.
Especially coming off from the Achilles prior to coming off from the ACL, and then 4 weeks until he tore his Achilles. So yeah, right. It's too much. The good thing is he tore the Achilles early, and he should be ready to return because the Achilles is a little different from the ACL. So the good thing is there's a possibility that he's going to clear the physical. The question is, which team does he want to go to? And then which team is going to offer him the best vet minimum? Because who was it that offered Russell Wilson more money? Russell Wilson wanted something specific in the contract, and no team was going to give him that. And the Steelers didn't give it to him either. He just chose the Steelers. I can't remember what it was he wanted in that contract, but it was something specific he wanted, and no team agreed to it. And then he ended up being a Steeler. But at the end of the day, he's getting that $39 million plus the $1.2 million. So Russell was going to make $40 million this year. Do you know what Tre'Davious White's number was this year with the Bills before they released him? Like, what was he set to make this year, or what do they owe him this year?
I I don't know. I would have to go to Spot Rack and try to.
All right, let's look that up. Let's get that. But yeah, so here's Travarius Mooney Ward saying, "Yo, we got the same agent. If y'all want him, let me know." I gotta start using the LMK. It's so much easier than writing out "let me know."
Yeah,
There's a lot less spelling here.
Just real quick, look at Mooney Ward saying, "Let me know." Like he's gonna call him and say, "Yo, you're signing here."
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what makes it. That's
crazy.
what makes it dope, right? Because he's like, "Yo, let me know." I can hear him talking too, because he got that slow southern. Yeah, man, let me know if you want me to call. You know what I'm saying? We got the same agent and something like that. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. Like I can hear Mooney. Yo, Mooney, my dog. So we literally have conversations back and forth. So I'm not making fun of him. That's my dude. All right, that's my dude. All right. So Mooney Ward.
So what happened was, you there?
Yeah.
Or did I just lose you? Oh. So what happened was there was a potential out, and the Buffalo Bills took advantage of it. So this is 2024. He's currently 29 years old, and his base salary was $8.35 million. He had a signing bonus built added into that for 2.1. He had a roster bonus, so he's not getting that. Then he had a $58,000 option.
So they took full advantage of that potential out.
So his cap hit would have been $16 million. Dead cap hit is $10 million. So they are paying him, I guess, the $6 million, just a little over $6 million he got paid from just basically looking at this real quick. So he made $6 million plus whatever he made prior, and now he's looking for a new deal. And whatever the Niners make, if the Niners are the team or whatever the team that chooses to sign him, he'll make that salary plus the $6 million from Buffalo.
I mean, it'll be interesting. Like, I don't know if the Niners should go this route. We'll talk about the free agents that none of them will mount up to what what Tre'Davious White can do or who he is or whatever his status as a cornerback in the NFL. But they did address the position a couple of times in free agency, so I'm curious to see if they go more the draft route, but then they got to go back into developing a guy, but at least they get cheaper in that room. And then they got Mooney Ward entering his last season of his contract, and then you got Deommodore Lenoir entering his last season of his contract, as well as Ambry Thomas, who may be on the bubble this offseason. So we'll have to see how it kind of pans out, but I think the 49ers, like if Tre'Davious White is willing to play for a vet minimum plus incentives, I don't think there's a better team in the NFL that offers incentive-based contracts than Parag Marate and the San Francisco 49ers, the way they figured it out. And so, like, I don't know, maybe if he visits, because the rumor is he's set to visit Seattle, the Raiders. I didn't see the 49ers floating around, but then I heard later that the Niners were one of the teams. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Let's talk about the other rumors. I don't know how much steam, like Debo to the Ravens and Ayuk to the Jags. Didn't really talk about him last week much. But Debo to the Ravens. Tony, I don't like it. I get it financially, but I don't like that move. Like, if that was to happen, for one, it wouldn't happen till after, June 1st? Because of the money situation. But like, and I know I'm a Debo fan, so that's why I don't want, you know what? Who cares if I like it or not? Do you like it? Because people are going to say that I'm a Debo fan, so of course I'm not going to like it.
This is the thing, right? Right now, I mean, he's on the books for a lot, and it would be a major hit to the cap if the Niners did this, even post June 1.
I'm trying to say, you go from $26 million, I think, and post June 1 is like 16, so you're still getting hit.
So, like, I mean, they already took a massive hit with the Eric Armstead situation. This is something they would have to consider maybe next year. Another issue I have with it is, obviously, if they're going to do it, it's going to be a post June 1 trade. Now,
Yes.
Post June 1, those draft picks don't count till next year.
Right.
So what's the return this year? Like what are we doing this year? Unless they have a game plan, they have something planned out. It very well could be, but unless they have something planned where they're going to grab somebody and then maybe they made the decision behind closed doors, and then once June 1st comes, they pull the trigger, that could be something different.
But it's for the future, right? So then you're relieving cap space for now, and then you're not looking to gain until the 2025 draft. So
Correct.
So my question to you is, how do you replace Debo? Because a lot of people feel like Debo, he isn't this wide receiver, which I just want him. I just want Debo to come in and shut people up one more time. But a lot of people feel Debo isn't your wide receiver. He can't get open. He can't get down the field. He can't do this. He can't do that. He stays injured, which all can be true. Not gonna discredit people for feeling that way. That's what they see. I just happen to see the things that he does do well. And when he's given the opportunity, he's probably the most explosive person on the offense. So, like, it's, you know, it has its pros and its cons, I guess, if you want to say. But how does this team move without Debo on the roster?
Well, my thing is this, right? We have other people still on the roster currently, which, okay, we know what the situation is. Like, you have, you know, Jawan Jennings under control. You still have Danny Gray on this roster. You re-signed Connolly. Clearly not Debo-type receivers. You have pieces. But if you see the Niners go wide receiver within their top 2 picks, they're planning for something. They don't just take a wide receiver top 2 unless they feel truly that is the best player available. And again, we will never know that, so they will never say that, so we will never know that. So that's where I'm at with that. If you see them go wide receiver early, like day 1, day 2,
I can't see him go day 1. Day 1's first round. Day 2 maybe.
No, I know, but if they have something lined up and one of those guys fall,
well, you're right, because they the last time they drafted a wide receiver in the first round was Brandon Ayuk. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So if they pull a trigger on something like that, I think the clock is ticking on Debo in San Francisco this year.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion.
So you think it would be Debo and not Brandon Ayuk? Because let's talk about that.
Because you just asked me Debo. That's why.
I know. Because I want to. And there's a good.
You want to make it wide open and talk wide receiver in general, and now
Here we go.
Here
we go. Let's do it.
Obviously, there's going to be a first-round pick in return. So the question is, with that first-round pick, what do? Do they go receiver high, lineman low, lineman high, receiver low? It's all going to depend on how that board falls to them. But I will tell you this: in a push come to shove scenario, the combination of Ayuk and Jennings as a receiving group is a little bit better
than Debo and
Jennings. So that's where I'm at with that.
Right, and so Debo's Ayuk is more to me. Debo's the more explosive wide receiver, but Ayuk is the more consistent wide receiver, right? So, like, he's the guy that can run the routes, get open, underneath, over the top. Like, that's that man-to-man. That's what you get from Ayuk. And it's consistency, right? And he's getting you those 20-plus, yards per catch or per average per play, right? That's Ayuk. That's what you're getting from Ayuk. With Debo, he's utilized a little bit differently. So he doesn't kind of fit kind of like the wide receiving situation. But I mean, if Jennings is, you know what we should do, Tony? I want to know what Jennings' production is not in the slot. And I know we could look up the numbers, but like, he takes advantage of the slot because of his size. And so that's what they do when it comes to Jawan Jennings. That's the biggest mismatch I feel Kyle tries to take advantage of. He just doesn't do it as often, I feel like, as he should. And it could, why not bring out more 3 wide receiver sets and take advantage of Jennings over in the slot? He does it when he wants, but if he did it more consistently, the 49ers, and I think I know why he won't do it, but the 49ers would have a crazy 3 wide receiving core. And I think the reason why he won't do it is to keep his production low so he can keep the pay low when it comes to contract situation. But you're right. I mean,
it could be that, but I also think if Kyle decided that the 49ers organization decided to move on from Juice this year, I think that would have been the change. I think we would have seen Jennings in the slot a lot, chipping the edge, setting the edge. But, I mean, listen, this is the way I see it, right? Jennings and Juice are 2 similar pieces, right?
Correct.
They're versatile. Jennings is dangerous with the ball in his hands. He's not fast, but he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. He's a very physical runner. He'll run people over, run through people. Kind of like Debo. They play with the same mentality with the ball in the hand, but just clearly not as fast.
Correct.
Okay. But in
super
that same
aggressive.
correct. In that same manner that I'm speaking about this, it's the same thing where he has that mentality and also has the mentality to block. So that's where Juice comes in. So now Juice can catch the ball, can run the ball, can block. And both those pieces are versatile. So if Juice is on the field, Jennings is not. If Jennings is on the field, Juice is not. So that's their back and forth, like giving different looks and alignments for defenses. But they actually both have similar roles in this offense, right?
Correct.
Correct. Jennings is not going to run, except for that one time. But they're interchangeable pieces almost.
I just want to put out there that one time that Jennings ran the ball out of the backfield, I know that wasn't the right call or whatever, but it only didn't work because Brindle missed the block. I just want to put that out there that the play was bad. It was poorly executed. And I thought I broke it down on the show. We watched it. It was like, oh, he was hit. The defensive line was in the backfield after the ball was snapped. So it made sense that play got blown up, but I don't think we want to see him out there. And I get it. So I don't want to I'm not throwing no shade toward Jennings. I'm just saying, you know what, Tony, when you go back and watch the film and we look at those plays that got blown up in the backfield, how many times is it because of the offensive line getting beat off the block and the running backs not having the time? We would get so mad at Elijah Mitchell, and it was because they forgot the block. Jennings missed the block on an Elijah Mitchell run at one time. Guys miss blocks. That's what happens. I think that's why those plays get blown up in the backfield. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I love everything that you said. So those that are watching the show live, I just want to point out, like right now, I can't see your comments via StreamYard. I would probably need to refresh my browser. Tony, I'm going to let Tony speak for a little bit. I'm going to refresh my browser and I'm going to come right back. But Tony, I want to talk about Zach Wilson and the trade rumor that's going on about Zach Wilson. Let's talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to go away for a second, Tony. For those that are listening, I do apologize. I need to refresh the browser for those that are watching live. Tony, let's talk about Zach, man. You take it away. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so the new rumor is Zach is allegedly being talked about as a potential target for the 49ers in a trade situation. Yeah, I mean, minimal impact. I think you bring him in as a proven veteran that in case of an emergency, you bring him in to compete with not Zach Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen. There's too many, whatever. Brandon Allen as the backup quarterback, right? So that's an option. Not saying I'm for it, but it's a young kid who is somewhat talented that might just need a Brian Greasy type coach to get his hands on him and straighten his ass out, right? And teach him the right ways, fundamentals and stuff like that. It is a potential option, we'll say, right? Just correct. There are other options on the free agent market. There's the Carson Wentz's, the Tannehills. Off the top of my head, those are the two big names that I know right now. I don't know if anybody feels comfortable with a Carson Wentz. Yeah, sure, he beat the 49ers 3 times. Yeah, sure, the last time he beat him, he came from behind to win, but yeah, sure, he also ran the ball for the majority of the time. So what are we like really getting into here with that? But I mean, it's something that is in consideration, and if they feel that it could potentially be better, and if he has like a $4 or $5 million cap number, and they cut that in half and extend him 1 year, right? Maybe they pull the trigger,
bro.
Right? But how funny is this?
I got a crazy.
That's crazy. He's going to cost us $5.6 million. Hey, he's garbage. What's up?
I got a crazy spin on this whole thing. I remember
Before you say something, let me just say one thing.
Yes, sir.
How crazy is that draft class that just played musical chairs, though,
bro? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the music. It's about the number 2 pick. It's about the number 3 pick. Okay. Now listen, I understand that the Niners gave up the first round picks to go out and get a guy like Trey Lance. And I know that the reports came out later. I don't know if they were true about Kyle Shanahan. Not sure who he wanted at quarterback, but I do remember that report coming out. And so let's talk about that. Mac Jones got traded for a 6th round pick. Essentially, You know, you got to watch him play some football. Thought his rookie season was pretty daggone decent, good. I thought they contested the Patriots, and then after that, they changed coordinators, and he just went downhill. And look at Zach Wilson. I just don't think the Jets are a good organization. I don't give a freak who the coach is. I just don't think they're ever going to get it right. Like, period. I don't care. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, and look at the unfortunate event that happened to Aaron Rodgers. It was an injury, but come on. So I just don't know. Salah taking Zach, okay, cool. He took a gamble on it, but it just didn't work out. And then and with Zach Wilson, you get all of the other stuff, the back, like, you know, the character issues and all that stuff, like that. People are just like, oh no, we don't want any of that. But you know, when you look at Zach Wilson, I think he has the ability to be a good quarterback in this league if coached properly. Then you look at Trey Lance; he was the rawest out of all those quarterbacks, right? And he literally needed time to develop. And I don't mean time sent behind the scenes. I mean, this kid needed to be out there and play. So all these, and then Justin Fields, you got to go and say got traded for a conditional 4th round pick. It's a 6th round pick that can work up to be coming a 4th round pick in the 2025 draft if he plays over 50-something% of his snaps. I can't remember the number, if it's like 51 or 53, but it wasn't just a 50. It was a little bit over 50. So he has to play 51% of the snaps, right? And so now I say to myself, man, when I look at what happened, I know we spent a lot to get what we wanted, but dang, John found a way to flip Trey Lance to and got the most out of the flip, right? Like, so he got the most out of the flip. And so, like, I get all these negative comments. Yeah, but we gave up 3 first. Who cares? Like, none of that matters anymore.
I agree with you. I agree 150% with you. We talked about this in our group chat, and we said it. We agreed on it.
Like, no,
the
but
Niners killed this whole situation.
You found it out, and you took advantage of it, and then you did it with the team you hate the most. That's a win. Like the Cowboys. You want Drake? Here, give me a 4th. We Gucci. No conditions, nothing. Straight up 4th round pick, which I guarantee you. And so you know what? I didn't respond back to the people on Twitter. But let me say this. There was only one team that made it to the Super Bowl by drafting one of those bad quarterbacks. And that was the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know where the Bears were, but they weren't close. Jets, not even close. Right? And so and the Patriots, good rookie season, and then fell off the face of the earth because Bill Belichick's not even the coach of the Patriots anymore. But when you look at the team that still found a way to compete, moving up to get Trey Lance allowed the team to do what Tony hates and keep every good piece on this team, bring the quarterback room down, right, to where now you can pay your Trent, you can pay your top players, and you can find a way to keep them on the team so you can keep competing. And I can agree and say that they got lucky on drafting a guy like Brock Purdy. I think that was the look. But somebody scouted him. Somebody saw something in this organization, and 31 other teams missed out. And the 49ers were the only team that took a chance. They didn't even have to draft him. So they won. Like they won. They're competing. They moved on from the quarterback in that carousel. All of them are bad. I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is good, but call me whatever. But at the end of the day,
I think he's very inconsistent. I'm sorry.
I just feel like they won that. They won the flip, meaning that they got the most back from it. Now, the Justin Fields situation can turn to where it ends up being equal. But if the 49ers are competing for Lombardis and those other teams aren't, that's a win to me. For me. Just a win.
Now, my question is this. My one pushback is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in New York with LaFleur, the LaFleur brother who left.
Yeah. It's Matt and what's the other one?
Mike LaFleur.
Mike. Yeah.
I think Matt LaFleur is in
Green Bay.
And Mike was the coordinator. Okay.
There you go.
So my thing is this. If he struggled with that, right? Mm-hmm. And St. Louis, wow. The Los Angeles Rams are not sniffing around him.
Mm-mm.
They chose Jimmy.
They told Jimmy.
Is that a little bit of a red flag?
It could be. It could be,
Meaning, now when I say red flag, meaning as far as the ability to play within that system.
That's a good question, and it could be, right? But when I feel like none of those organizations, even though the Rams are the only one with the championship, are as tight based and well coached than the 49ers. And if they're going to take a chance on somebody, it's usually the 49ers. But the reason why, before you ask me not to say anything, when I look at this whole Zach Wilson situation, I'm saying to myself, Kyle Shanahan thinks if this goes down, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Kyle Shanahan thinks he's slick. Because you got a 7th round pick on the last year his rookie deal, and you have the ability, this will be Zach Wilson's 4th year, right? And you have the ability to trade a 6th or 7th round pick for another quarterback. And because if you look at the draft, you have to ask yourself, is any one of these quarterbacks potentially better than what I could get out of Zach Wilson? That's the question that you have to ask. You're going to get experience from Zach. You're going to get experience from him being in a system that you created. And now you're going to bring him with a great quarterbacks coach compared to the other guys from the other teams that you mentioned. So I'm just asking that to push back to what you're saying. It could be the perfect situation, and I'm not saying this is what I want, but it could be the perfect situation for Zach Wilson to be here to see how it's supposed to be ran.
And I think he's getting better one-on-one coaching.
That's the key.
Not with Kyle.
No, Kyle has nothing to do with the quarterbacks. It's Greasy.
With Greasy.
Which might have been the greatest hire of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan. John,
I loved it when he hired him. He's like, oh, like people were saying, oh, it's just it's his first time in coaching. How much could he know? No. There's bloodlines. I'm a big bloodline guy, right?
Yes, sir. We all lineage, bro, because we go back to the back of the day. Yeah.
You like, for example, Jerry Rice, the former wide receiver, Jerry Rice, Brendan Rice, the wide receiver from USC. There's bloodlines, right? He knew what his father had to do to be what he was. He saw the commitment. He saw the time that was put into it. He saw the effort, the off-field preparation, off-season preparation, what it took in season. So he saw that. And then you look at Frank Gore's kid. Look at Frank Gore. This kid knows what his dad did, what it takes to be successful in the NFL.
100%.
I'm huge on bloodlines. Some people think they're overrated. In some situations, they are. But from an IQ and a mental aspect and committing and knowing and having the fire to do it, I'm huge 100% on. Yeah, Peachy just hit out of the park.
Yeah, keep going because this is the major monster.
100%.
But keep going. I didn't want you to stop in your tracks. I'm sorry. I just wanted to pop up some of the.
No, but that's where I'm at with that. I am big on bloodlines. I'm absolutely big on that. And I have no problem drafting either one of those kids in this draft.
Absolutely not.
They choose to go that route.
I agree 1,000%. And you left out another bloodline and probably one of the most workaholic bloodlines in the NFL, other than the Matthews, is Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, McCaffrey's here, so I didn't like.
No, and I get what you're saying, but my point is like.
Oh shit, the brother. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't think that's a workaholic family. Like, and you talking from blue collar all the way to the cream of the crop. And not no shade to the dad. He wasn't the greatest, but you know what he did? He went out every single day. He played hurt. He didn't play injured, but he played hurt. I remember Ed said the most famous thing, in my opinion, that needs to resonate through these young players' minds and even some of the vets in the NFL. He says, listen, if you have the ability to go out there and play hurt, you better do it. Because if not, somebody's going to take your job. That's just the way it is. The way a cookie crumbles and anything in life. Anything in life. It's just the way that the cookie freaking crumbles. Now, he says if you're injured and you can't play, that's a totally different situation. But if you're hurt and you can play, you better go out there and give that 100% of that hurt because your coach and your team is depending on you. I think that was one of the greatest things that I've ever heard, and I never thought about it like that. But that's the mentality of the McCaffreys, and I think everybody needs to adapt that mentality. PG said something. I think he was under too much media pressure being in New York. You know what? It's not easy playing in New York. I could tell you this from a whole different perspective being a musician from Connecticut, which is not far from New York, Tony. But Tony, you're Jersey, and you know, it's just like if you can make it in New York, like that if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. That's not false, but it's hard because you're gonna go through the fire. You get the greatest media
in the New York media. I'm sorry, nowhere.
It's literally the monster of the media, right? If you can make it in New York, you're good. It's possible. Peachy, where did he come? Where was Zach from? BYU? I don't know where he's from, but I think that's where he went. Yeah,
BYU. Yes.
Yeah, totally different dichotomy and whatever. Like, you know, he gets to New York and it's tough, man. You know why it was tough too? Because he became the face of the franchise the moment that they drafted him, and that's pressure. That's pressure right there. I do want to talk about Zach Wilson. So I got look, Zach Wilson. I'm gonna go career stats. Okay, so let's go some career stats. He's a 57% completion percentage quarterback. All right, he's entering year 4 of his rookie deal. 6,293 yards, 6.3 yards per average, 23 TDs, 25 interceptions. It's not really, really good, but he played starting quarterback on a team that I just didn't think was good. I think they had good defenses, but the offenses made the defense not look good at times. I think they had some good pieces on offense, but yeah, it just didn't work. It wasn't working for him there. And so that's his stats. He was sacked 114 times. Good God.
That's
but then
Zach, right?
Yeah, Zach. But
yeah.
I have to. The name of the show is Zach Wilson the backup plan? And so the reason why I asked that is because the current backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers is Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen, current backup. His career, all right? His career, 56.7. Oh my gosh, Tony. 56.7 completion percentage. 0.3 points less than Zach Wilson. So who's the better quarterback, right? 1,611 yards, 6.1 average to 6.3. Oh, this is so fun.
Who
10
has the
TD.
6.3?
Zach Wilson. 10 TDs to Zach Wilson's 23 TDs. And of course, Zach played more. But at the end of the day, I really want to focus on the completion percentage and that yards per average. I think those are the two numbers. And he was sacked 21 times in his career. All right. So that's just based off of what the career with these guys have been in the league. And he's been in the league. I look like a year longer than Zach. Brandon Allen is the current quarterback. They signed him to a 1 year. They re-signed him to a 1 year deal. You're looking at, potentially getting a guy like Zach Wilson. Is Zach Wilson, Tony, to you, an upgrade over Brandon Allen?
Let's throw production. Wait, you can't. Let's you
can talk production.
Just for 1 minute. Take the production, throw it out the window.
Okay.
Experience wise, yes.
Experience wise, because even though Brandon Allen was in the league longer,
this guy has more starts.
Bingo.
He was the starter of a team.
Bingo.
So
I need that sound.
Preparation, game planning, stuff like that. He was a part of more than Brandon Allen. So experience wise, it goes to him.
Okay.
Now yards per attempt, it also goes to Wilson.
Oh, so you're bringing in the stats. Okay. Yeah.
Now we're going to trickle in the stats. The percentages. What was the percentages again? I forgot.
It's better than Brandon Allen. It's 0.3 better. It's 57. It's 57. It was. It was 57 to 56.7. So it's 0.3 better.
So they're very similar, not off by much as far as production. Now we did experience, favor Wilson. production, favor Wilson. Now, league experience, not starting experience, league experience, being around coaching, preparation more in detail with better coaching, and IQ and the belief to see the field. That is where I'm on the fence. Because there were times where Wilson threw some passes, and I'm just like, where the hell is he throwing that ball?
Mm-hmm.
Because, New York, New Jersey, we see Jet games. So that's where I'm a little worried about. There were some throws where he made, it was just like, where this kid's not ready. Like, the game's too fast for him. He's not the type of he wasn't the type of quarterback where he said he's seeing ghosts, but this kid's made plays with his legs. He's shown you at times he can make throws. He's shown you that he can run an offense and bring it down the field. But from a consistency aspect, it's all over the place. Now, you're not asking this kid to come in and be a starter.
Correct.
Is he a potential upgrade over
Brandon Allen? That's the only question I'm asking.
Yeah, I think he could be. But is he that much better where you feel confident in Wilson, or do you feel confident in Allen? To say, oh shit, Brock turned his ankle, you got to come in for a couple series till he gets looked at. That's where we're at. Or it's neither of them, and you go out and bring in a Wentz, or you bring in a Tannehill. Okay. Right?
I can
honestly, the most safest route to go would be a Tannehill.
The veteran quarterback.
He's at that point of his career where it's like, okay, I'm not a starter no more. I'm just going to come in and know my role and be a backup. And work with the young starter.
You hope that's his situation, because I don't think Tony, he wasn't feeling that way in Tennessee last year. Matter of fact,
I didn't think he looked as good as he normally did.
Oh no, you're 100% correct. I'm telling you, he wasn't feeling that way when they brought in Will Travis, and they had to. Yeah, he didn't like that. He didn't like it. He wasn't when he came back. I think he got injured as well, and they decided to go with Will. He wasn't feeling that. So I don't know if he feels he wants to be a backup quarterback. I think Tannehill only signs to a team that's going to really give him a viable option to win the starting quarterback role back. And I know he won't get that in San Francisco. But I do like that you brought up that, these veteran quarterbacks. Matter of fact, who should back up Brock Purdy in 2024? That's the poll question. Make sure you guys got to participate in that. It's free agent veteran, which is a guy that Tony just mentioned, like Ryan Tannehill. Trade for Zach Wilson. Draft a quarterback, or just go with Brandon Allen. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to do something to bring in that emergency guy because of that new rule. So you're going to have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I will say this. I don't know if I want to trade for Zach Wilson. But if he's released, which I don't see the Jets doing, but if he's released, by any means, I'm going to sign him as a free agent. It's not even a doubt or question in my mind. I would sign him as.
You're taking a shot with your control. This draws me back to when the 49ers were in discussions sniffed around Randy Gregory from Denver when they decided to cut him. Denver announced that they were going to cut him. All of a sudden, a half hour later, the 49ers must have called them and said, we want him, we'll take him, blah, 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 whatever. And then you see the report, Denver's decided to hold on to Randy Gregory pending a trade. So what that does is, right, that does a couple things. Number one, it controls the destination of the player. Number two, it prevents a bidding war if he's a free agent where you don't have to spend more than what you want. Number three, it's controlled contract. So essentially, yes, he signed a massive deal, but due to the language in the contract, the Niners walked away from it free and clear and paid him, $2 million last year to come and play? This is that situation, all right? He's on the final year. Is he on the final year of his deal?
Zach, no. Well, because technically they can still fifth-year option.
The final year. Yeah, he's on the final year of his 4-year deal. Okay, so he's on the final year of his deal. They didn't pick up the option, so now you're getting the player you want. I'm just using it as a hypothetical here. I'm not necessarily saying that's who they want, but you're getting the player that you want. Controlled salary of $1.5 million, $2 million. Not getting into a bidding war. And now you have his service, you're securing him. Okay. So sometimes in situations like this, where you have a sense or get a tip that he could have a market, you send a late round pick over there and just you secure his services for what you want and controlled. Because now let's just say hypothetically,
thank you, Tony.
He gets cut. He hits the market, right?
Everybody might try. Well, not everybody.
Oh, I'm interested. We're interested in bring him in for a visit. We're offering 5. Oh, well, the Rams are also offering 6. Well, the Dolphins offering 7.
It slows the process down of what you're trying to do with your organization. Correct. Where you could just get them for a 6th or 7th, dead all of that. I got you.
And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? We really want him. Just pay him $10 million. So you just went from $1 to $10 million.
They're not paying his kid $10 million.
I'm just using hypothetically. Like that's how you prevent. That's how you control everything. You just offer a late round pick to secure the person that you want.
Okay. All right. I can see it from that. I see it. It's all about security. It's all about control.
Yep.
And that's what the 49ers kind of like to do. They like to be in control of what they do. So I can dig it. There's no sense of holding on to your 6. You got 2 6-round picks. You can offer up 1. You know what I mean? We just talked about our draft picks, which we'll get into that. But listen, guys, this is just a rumor. I don't want everybody to get scared out there, okay? I know people are like, no, I don't want Zach Wilson. Listen, man, this is what we do on the show. We do our research, and we have a decent conversation about the pros and cons of this particular player becoming a San Francisco 49ers because, Tony, I think you and I can agree and say that we didn't get any worse in free agency. Like, we didn't get worse. Like, we didn't go backwards. Did we progress? I think that's to be seen. But I think we both can agree that we didn't get worse. And I want to talk about the positions that the 49ers still need to address in free agency. I want to get your thoughts on that. But before I do that, let me go ahead and bring up what we've already done. Let's see if I can find this doc real quickity quack. Blow that up some so y'all can see it. And so look, the Niners made some moves. They made some really good moves. And Tony, we'll focus on like who we got. We have 7 new incoming free agents. We got Leonard Floyd. People don't panic about the Leonard Floyd contract being made official. He's currently not available. He's not there, and they're waiting for that to happen. So it will become official. If we waited on Nick Bosa to sign his rookie deal, we can wait for Leonard Floyd. So just be patient. Yuter Gross Matos, 2-year deal. Jordan Elliott, 2-year deal. Isaac Yiadom, a 1-year deal. I want to get your thoughts on this kid because we talked about the others.
Someone very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Especially if they want to do a little bit. I keep saying very all day. I really like that kid. That kid, there's something about him.
Okay, can I give you my thing and tell me if you agree? Instincts.
It stinks.
That he has the instinct, like of the cornerback. Like he has this. Yeah, like like he has the instincts of.
I thought you said it stinks. Like
no. His instincts and ability to play cornerback. Like the one thing as I watched some of his film, the one thing I didn't have to wish that he did was get his head turned around. Like it's there. Like that avoids the penalty. That avoids the PI. Like I'm gonna get my
very good ball skills and ball awareness situation.
It stinks.
But the one thing is this: he's a little bit better in one scheme than he is another.
Like him better in man than you like him in zone?
Not only man, he's got to be up and he can't play
press.
He's got to be up and run, like bump and then run with him.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? It could be some type of a zone, but
okay, Tony. Okay. I gotta have this conversation because I've been advocating, and I know I'm an Ambry Thomas. That's my guy, right? But I've been advocating for the 49ers to let him play press because that's what he does. But they only let Mooney Ward do it. They don't do it at the same time as what I'm saying on both sides. It one's off, one's up close. That's his strength, and they won't let him ever play to his strength. Do you think this is the kid that's going to come in and replace like the Ambry Thomas? But if you're telling me he struggles in off man, you're going to get the same results.
But the problem is the ball skills
and the instincts. That's
the key. Major components of someone's team. and really, someone does not have that out of the two. It's not a knock against him. Listen, there's been times where Ambry Thomas is like, wow, holy Christ, what a friggin' play. And then his
issue is consistency.
You just see him like, oh shit, there it is. And it's like, hello. Come on, man, do something.
To be fair with my boy Ambry, when he was given the ability to be the guy and he knew that, he showed up. And my thing is, you saw the same thing with Yadam and New Orleans. When Paulson Adobo went down and he got the opportunity to go out there and he knew it was his job, he knew he was going to have to do, he showed up. And Ambry did the same thing his rookie season, because everybody don't forget about what he did. I know is what have you done for me lately, but I just feel like I hope we don't get the same type of scenario, because look, the thing that I like about Yadam is he's a dog, and the Niners got some dogs already in the stable or the kennel, wherever you want to call it, because I can't wait to see if Samuel Womack progresses. I can't wait to see what Darrell Luter Jr. does, and that to me is they're the same player. Isaac Yadam and Darrell Luter Jr., they are not getting beat in press man coverage. They won't. They're not going to get beat. You're not going to get the ball to your wide receiver if they're playing like that. So I can't wait to see what camp is going to look like. Let's go with Chase Lucas, the cornerback for the Rams, from the Lions, special teams player. What are your thoughts on Chase?
Strictly special teams. I think he had
no cornerback reps whatsoever, huh?
10 snaps as a defensive player, strictly special teams. And clearly the 49ers are focusing on trying to upgrade this special team unit, but they got one big hole they need to still fill, and it's going to be interesting in which direction they choose to go with that.
Are we talking returner?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I mean, if you look at it, you brought back Connolly, you added this kid Turner as the next guy on our list. You added Lucas, two excellent special teamers. I think better than Burks. Excellent special teamers. Like
interesting.
So, I mean, this kid Turner flies. He's faster than Burks. He was actually the guy who blocked Wisnowski last year in the opening game, or the first game versus Arizona, I think it was. The home game versus Arizona. He blocked the punt. The kid just has a knack for making plays on special teams. I'm not saying he's perfect or he's the best, but production-wise, I just feel he's faster than Burks, and if you're faster, you're getting downfield or where you need to be faster than someone who's not as fast as you. So that aspect, and Burks signed with the Eagles. Burks actually got a decent salary, almost $4 million, if I read it correctly.
Correct.
So, it's a business, man. We're trying to put a roster together, adding our pieces to strengthen our roster and our secondary. Clearly, Chase Lucas might be given an opportunity to play some nickel reps, sure. But I'm not banking on that. No way in hell. He's going to come in and compete with the Womacks, with the Connollys, and all the other gunners that we had on this team for an opportunity to be a gunner for the San Francisco 49ers. Not a lock to make this roster whatsoever. But competition makes your team better. Iron sharpens iron. This is what the goal is at this point in free agency.
Very well said, my brother. Very well said. You talked about some of those free agents that are gone. Kinlaw to the Jets, Farrell to the Commanders, Darnold to the Vikings. Hey, quick question. Is Zach Wilson an upgrade over Sam Darnold?
Oh, God.
It doesn't really pertain to the Niners anymore because he's no longer gone. But if you're saying he's an upgrade over Brandon Allen, that's the only thing that matters. Honestly, but I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough.
I mean, just one quarterback saw a ghost, and the other quarterback didn't. So that to me lets me, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, so he's got the nod then, right? So I guess the non-ghost seer has the nod in this situation. So it will be a 1A, 1B. That's where we're at. 1A, 1B.
I got you, bro. I got you. Let's talk about the guys that they brought back to me were perfect. They had to get the quarterback. I still scratching my head over Ben Barch, but I think they see something in him as being more of the backup center, a post, and then they'll allow Feliciano to like roam that offensive line, right? And you brought him back. You talked about bringing back Chris Conley, the gunner, and then Kevin Givens got another deal, as well as Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. So when you talked about Ezekiel Turner, what's going to be the different role for both of these linebackers on special teams? They're both special teams aces, in my opinion. I know one is built with speed and the other's Flanagan-Fowles is what? You know what I mean? Is one of them not going to make this roster?
I think it's going to battle. I think it's going to be a battle.
Oh, I love it. I love it, and that's why I brought that up.
This is what you want, Wayne. You want competition. You just don't want to hand and say, "Oh,
I love
here
it.
you go."
I love it.
You want competition. You want to see where these two rookies are in going into season number 2, a full off season in the weight room, full off season of training. Year 1 is behind you. You know what is expected from you. You know what the game is like. You know the speed of the game. You see how it is. I think they're setting it up for one hell of a competition. I really do.
I love it because we have not talked about the second year special team linebackers for the 49ers and D. Winters and Jalen Graham. We didn't even bring them up. This competition is going to be fierce. There can be some cuts and some releases to some of these players. But, Tony, looking at this list, right, there are 2 positions that the Niners did not address after losing a couple of guys, and that's the tight end and the safety position. Okay, they've inquired about the safety position. God knows, I'm hoping it's Justin Simmons. God knows, I know it's going to cost some money, but he's the best safety available, and I think that's why it's going to cost you a bread. But at the end of the day, if you can get a true center fielder, veteran, who is a ball hawk, I say you go out there and do it. You let Hufanga really rehabilitate, come back, edge him in slowly, maybe shift his role a little bit to that big nickel linebacker safety combo, right? There could be ways. But Tony, I want to get your top 3 safeties and your top 3 tight ends that you think can come in and fit the 49ers if you have a different position you feel that they need to address the free agency, and then we'll end the show.
So what do you think what do I think they need to address? To be honest, I think both of them are equal. All right. And the reason why I say both safety and tight end are equal is for this. Okay. Tight end, you have someone who was injured, went on injury reserve, who was a 3rd-round pick. And right now,
Cameron
Latu, right now they are projecting him as the number 2 tight end behind Kittle and in front of Willis. Willis got more playing time this year than Latu. So that's the tight end. The safety position, Hufanga's coming off the ACL. You re-sign Odom. Your starters are penciled in right now as Hufanga and Jair Brown, because Gibson is also a free agent. Correct. So to be honest with you, they're both equal. They both need to be addressed. Now, here's what I was trying to get. Here's what I was trying to get with Juice. How you could trot out Jennings and take Juice off the field, because Jennings could lead as a blocker and be a threat down the field as a chain mover, a possession wide receiver, as a receiver. Now, if you want to go 2 tight ends, is Juice the second tight end?
Depends on who you bring in, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go single back, 2 tight end set with 2 wide receivers, if you
I'm with you. We talk about 12 personnel. Like, right. So if we talk to the 12 personnel, I'm kind of we've done it, but we've done it with Charlie Warner. We've done it, but we've done it in the past with a guy like Tyler Kroft, which is a free agent. And no, I'm not saying that the Niners need to sniff around bringing him back, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back somebody that they know.
And when I see Fish and Chips just said Juice is too small for a tight end, I'm not saying an inline blocking tight end. I'm saying as a
threat,
tight end.
The threat, yeah.
So now here's the brain tease. Tell me what the difference is in between 21 personnel and 12 personnel if Juszczyk plays both roles.
There's no difference.
Exactly.
Which is what Kyle wants.
Exactly. So now if you come out and he wants to go with 2 tight end set, it's essentially 21 personnel with Juice aligned somewhere else in the backfield.
Yeah.
So
it confuses the defense. What personality
exactly.
And how do I defend it? Exactly. And then Kyle looks for the mismatch, and Brock takes advantage of his guy, right? Like that's what Kyle does. And this is why, luckily, Juice chose to restructure and stay here. That's a Juice move. So we can still have we could still have the ability to take advantage of some of these things. Now, I still think that they need not necessarily an inline blocking tight end. I think I would love to see what Brady Willis is going to do. I'm not sold on Cameron Latou. No disrespect, just not sold on him yet until I see more of him. He did start catching the ball later on in free agency before the injury. I mean, later on in preseason before the injury. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Ross Dwelly, bro. Like, I don't know what he does, but he gives you still that flexibility to do exactly the same things you just said. He's not great blocking, but he could be a weapon if they chose to use him as a weapon. I still think he had the best hands as a tight end on the San Francisco 49ers. Better hands than George Kittle. I think his hands are that soft. You throw him the ball, it's a catch. I just wish they find a way to utilize him. And you know what? Ross Dwelly, he's just had – if I'm Ross Dwelly, I wouldn't even want to play for the 49ers just because of the way they took advantage of the contract situation, like all that type of stuff, right? But – He'll probably get his best opportunity to win a championship obviously would be with the 49ers. I wouldn't be surprised if Ross.
Let me ask you a question. How long has Ross Dwelly been in the league?
I don't know. He's got but he's been a Niner every year, and he keeps coming back. He don't give a fuck what the contract says. Yeah.
We'll just say 5 years. And over his 5 years with the 49ers, he's averaged $1 million a year.
Bro,
at least.
Didn't I just tell you if I'm Ross Dwelly, I'm not playing?
I have no problem doing that, playing for a great franchise.
I know you don't.
Shit. Sometimes you don't even got to play the game to get paid. You're on the sideline in street clothes. Shit.
They won't use him, right? But I think to have him here, he'll get paid something, and he'll still be a part of the greatest damn organization of all time. Like, I think for Ross Dwelly, it's a win-win. Now, if he wants more playing time, he's going to test the free agency market. But guess what? He did that last year. What happened? He re-signed with the San Francisco 49ers on a one-year deal, baby. Like you get what I'm saying? So for the 49ers, this is one of them situations. And I'm praying that my boy Juwan Jennings don't end up in this same type of scenario down the wormhole.
No.
He's got to price himself out at some point, the Niners got to either extend him and say you the man and offer him that contract based off of what he's done, or he's gone. Right.
There's no way I'll tell you right now, if he was an unrestricted free agent, someone would have signed his ass already.
David McNiner says he gets $333,000 per catch. I would listen. Sign me up. The dude got hands, and he can line up as a back in the backfield. We've seen him be fullback. He's a special player, and he fits Kyle Shanahan like a glove. No pun intended. But look, he would be here, and then and you know what you could do? You could still develop the guys that you have, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a tight end. Let's talk about these safeties, Tony, before we jump off. And I got 3 safeties that I want, that I think that the Niners should go after, and it's Justin Simmons, number 1. He's going to be the most expensive, even though he's 30. Don't care. Doesn't matter. still productive. Okay. But let's talk about Eddie Jackson from the Bears. And let's talk about Quandre Diggs from the Seahawks.
That's someone who caught my eye, Quandre Diggs. But I don't feel not his time speed. I feel like his game speed changed.
Does it?
I don't feel like he flies around as well as he used to when he was with Detroit or his first year in Seattle.
Say less.
I mean, I like him. I wanted the Niners to get him when he left. Tony, it's good to see you smile that pistol.
Big Daddy Niners, every time he smiles, I have to make acknowledgement of that. Shout out, man, to you. Thank you for being a member for 5 months, bro.
Oh, God.
We love to see you smile, Tony. That's a good sign that things are going to be all right. It means spring is on its way when Tony is smiling.
Yeah. But, yeah. So I like Diggs. Jackson, I really didn't watch a lot of. I think did Jackson sign somewhere?
I don't know. I see him as a free agent, so maybe he did and it's not updated, but I don't remember Eddie Jackson signing from the Chicago Bears.
I know he visited someone. I don't know who it was.
But I'm just saying, like, why not get a ball hawk and let these guys – now, I think Jair Brown will eventually become the ball hawking safety. But I think he needs to learn how to play in the box. Like he got to learn how to play in the box. He's got to learn how to tackle. He's got to learn how to take those right angles. And he's got to, which I think he will. But I think eventually he drops back and becomes that guy. But why not bring in a vet that did it so well throughout their tenure in the NFL to teach the ropes?
And you want to know what's crazy about Jair Brown? When they drafted him, what did they draft him as? Oh, my God, he's dangerous in the box. He's a box safety. He blitzes off the edge. He makes plays in the backfield.
Yeah.
All his highlight films were doing was that. Now, the question is, this is where we talk about Steve Wilks. Did Wilks take him out of that role and try to make him something that he was not at Penn State? But he turned out to be a pretty solid safety down the field, playing in the back end of the defense. Right?
I thought even at Penn State, he led in interceptions and stops.
Yes, but all his highlight film was all him in the box.
Oh, stops. Like, yeah. It was tackles for losses. No. He's the dude. He's a monster on a football field. It could have been, but Steve Wilks was also trying to get his guys to develop to play the pass. At the end of the day, you got to be able to get interceptions. Like, that helps your team offense. It gives your team more opportunities. And then when
big one.
Come on, man. Jair Brown was his first game. You got the interception? 2 interceptions? I can't remember. Yeah.
I'm talking about the Super Bowl where he
even that. Like
Mahomes didn't see him. All of a sudden he just flashed. Boom.
my point is, like, the moment he was inserted, you knew he was gonna be a playmaker. And so I think that was already in him coming out of Penn State. That's why I wanted the 49ers to take him. Remember the year before when we were doing our draft stuff? Who did I want out of Penn State? I wanted Jaquan Brisker. Like, I watch Big Ten football. I think people know I watch Big Ten football.
Those two guys were good back there.
They were like Tweedledee and Tweedle. They were a perfect combination. Brisker goes and gets drafted by the Bears, the Bears. But we ended up getting Jair Brown, which I love. And so I think, Tony, you talk about box safety. That was really Hufunga's job. Like, I'd rather have Hufunga playing in the box. I just felt more secure that stuff was going to happen around the line of scrimmage. But then you had T. Gitt back there as well playing your free. And so when Jair Brown came, they had to insert. They trusted Gitt more in the box. It was just so weird. It was just weird. But those guys are going to develop. I think they develop. I think Brown's going to develop. I really do. 49er Media, what's going on? Guys, if you guys are into the bracket, the men's bracket, the women's bracket, the big dance. March Madness is on its way, right? It's a couple of days from now. 49er Media is doing a bracket, so if you want to join, man, feel free to hit him up. He'll send you the link, the passcode. It's free, it's fun, and see if you can win, man. Like, see if you can win. I'm in it. I'm gonna win because it's UConn all the way. But at the end of the day, man, I would love to know who you guys are gonna pick. Yo. It's just
like bias.
just gonna pick UConn, man. It's just the day of the champs. You gotta to beat the champs. You gotta beat the champs, right? Like to beat the champs, you gotta beat the champs. But Tony, what a great show. We talked about some of those guys. Everybody's ready for the draft, Tony. I think at this point, my man 805 Blackbeard says, "What are your thoughts on the two from UCLA?" Tony, have you watched any of the edge rushers before I give you my take on Laiatu Latu out of UCLA defensive end? Because what happens for me, Tony, is I speak to players and I fall in love with them. So I don't want to say anything until you give your unbiased opinion.
I like Latu. He's a really good edge defender. Can set the edge. Can play with his hand in the dirt. But I kind of feel he might have a longer successful career as a stand-up outside linebacker.
3-4
situation. He could put his hand in the dirt and go get the quarterback. But I think he's solid. I think he will contribute to a team. Whoever drafts him, he's going to be way off the board by the time the Niners pick. And even if they trade up, I think they ain't going in the top 15. I think he can go top 15. To be honest with you, I think other than Chop Robinson, I think he's probably. I mean, Chop Robinson's due to his combine workout and his pre-draft, his what do they call that? His pro day. Pro day workout. He's number one based off of that. Now the question is he going to be a workout warrior? And every time I see a guy work out so good and throw those type of numbers up, I think of one person and one person only. His name was Mike Mamula out of Boston College. Okay? That guy blew the combine away. The Eagles took him at 7.
Nothing.
Didn't hear from him for years. Nothing.
You got it. Yeah.
Buyer beware with those workouts.
Yeah. And the film. Film matters. I can tell you this, being a Big Ten guy, Chop Robinson is going to be a problem in the NFL. I don't care where he goes. He's going to be a problem.
I'm going to be honest with you. Mike Mamula's film, he stood out on film. That's the scary part.
But it could have been. It depends on the system that they go in and how they utilize these players.
Correct.
And so, like when I look at Latu, he to me is the smoothest edge rusher in the draft. Like pure edge rusher. The dude is smooth with it. He's got the moves. Tony talked about him setting the edge, containing the edge. Like he's just really smooth. He's got the size. He's got the combination with the hands and the speed. Latu's that dude. Like I said, speaking to him, like interviewing him, talking to him at the Senior Bowl was just like, dude, you're gonna be a problem. And he knows it. Like he knows he's a premier pass rusher. He's not getting all the hype from like other the kid from Alabama, who to me is another 3-4 outside linebacker as well. Dallas Turner, I believe that's his name. But there's some good kids in this draft. But I like Latu. Don't think he will ever be a 49er until after his rookie contract and he hits free agency. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like we can pass on him. He's going to be a problem though in the NFL wherever he goes if they utilize him right, like Tony said. Like these players go to systems and sometimes they're just not system fit players and they just don't work out, and it's unfortunate for them, especially throughout their rookie contract. But Latu's going to be something nice in the NFL. Tony, final thoughts before we jump up out of here, man.
Just keeping my eyes open on Twitter, trying to see if they make any other moves, whether it's Wilson, whether it's a safety, whether it's a tight end, whether it's something. Just keep my eyes peeled out for that. Other than that, the draft talk and the mocks are going to be flying, and rumors are going to be flying. There's already a trade apparently. I didn't even really notice that Minnesota traded for the first round with the Texans, and they picked up an extra first round pick, and the Texans picked up a number 2 this year, number 2 next year. So it's clear that Minnesota
trying to get their quarterback.
Their eye on somebody.
Yeah,
so,
they getting a quarterback, man. They didn't really address it. They signed Sam Darnold to a 1-year deal in free agency, but they're looking to get the guy for the future, and they can give Sam Darnold will be the bridge, and that's giving some time. So that's a smart move from the Minnesota Vikings. Smart move from the Minnesota Vikings, though. But, Tony, you're right, man. You always hit the nail on the head. Guys, we'll be back till the next time, man. Hopefully we have some more good 49ers news to talk about. Nothing heartbreaking or anything like that. Happy belated birthday to those from March 17th. Brandon Ayuk's birthday was on yesterday, as well as my son, Taylon, who just turned 23. So happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to my son. And everybody else out there that celebrated birthday on yesterday, happy birthday. To those birthdays that are today, happy birthday to you as well. We wanted to show you some love. But guys, we'll be back, man. Stick around, man. We love you. And don't forget to tune in today to the BAM Show with your boy, myself, and Mike, 4 p.m. It's Mock Draft Monday, so we're going to kick that mock draft off some proper, right? See you then. Peace.
I be sipping gold bar whiskey on the rocks and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping nonstop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 4-9 preacher.